We've been through so much on this YouTube channel lately together, but I feel like I've finally figured it out. What's up everyone, it's Ashley. Today I want to talk about the thing that I truly believe can save the streaming community, which I know sounds really clickbaity, but I actually really do think that this is important for you. Have you ever seen those creators that are just completely uninspired? It seems like they don't try, they don't have a lot of energy, they don't really interact a lot. I'm pretty sure we've all seen one, or maybe even been one. Now this might be because they're truly tired, but as a human, your passions and your purpose evolves and you change over time. If you're a content creator, you have to be in front of people. So how are your passions and your purpose gonna evolve in front of people? You have to do this publicly, y'all, and there's really only 4 different things that can happen. You get stuck, right? It happens, but you decide that you need to give yourself the mental space to be able to figure it out. So 1, you burn out. 2, because you need the space, you isolate yourself from your community, your audience, all of your relationships. I am very guilty of this. 3, you prioritize your audience and you know the importance of sticking around even though stuff gets hard, and so you stick it out even though you're tired and everyone can tell, and you do the same thing over and over and over, and there's no inspiration. 4, you don't know that this is a totally normal thing, and so you end your content career, whether that's streaming or whatever platform. I want to give you a 5th option. Okay, so option 5. You share what you're going through. You open up to your community, you're honest, and yeah, you share a lot of the good stuff, but you also share the struggles of how your passion and your purpose have evolved. But the problem here is our thoughts aren't linear. We're a jumbled mess of tons of different emotions and tons of different complex processes happening. So how do you share all of that in a way that makes sense? We have to simplify this for ourselves and for our audience, and you do this when you use the hero's journey. I've actually been using this lately on my channel. I talked about it a little bit in the last video, and it is all about helping you contextualize what you're going through. So I'm gonna jump into it, and I'm gonna use my videos as an example to help you learn more about this journey. For those of you who don't know, the hero's journey is a more complex version of storytelling that Hollywood uses. Typically there's a 3-act structure with a beginning, a middle, and an end, but the hero's journey goes a lot more deeper than that and has a lot more different phases. So think of massive, amazing movies like Star Trek, Star Wars, The Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. Those videos are so huge and have a lot of different working components. So if we want to make a shift in our content, or if we want to just completely rebrand, the best way to do this is in a way that's going to make sense for that audience, right? And typically we want to make sure that the introduction part of this shift is handled very, very carefully. This usually breaks down into 5 different stages. Stage 1 is the ordinary world. This is where we learn the details about the hero, their morals, and the goal of this stage is to empathize with them as a human being, to get us as the audience to relate to them. I did this pretty much in every single other YouTube video that I've created throughout my streams, throughout any of my content. Y'all have gotten really close to me as a person, as a human being. The second step is the calling. So this is whenever the hero's ordinary life is disrupted and they realize that they need to do something. This is that moment whenever Harry starts getting owls, and then Hagrid finally gives him the letter to go to Hogwarts, and he realizes his entire life has to change. I had 2 videos which were all about the calling, which was the huge problem we are all ignoring about streaming, and the 2 ugly truths about streaming and working full-time. And in these ones, what I really wanted to do was make sure that you all knew who I was, my morals, the things that I've struggled with, and the emotional journey that I'm going through right now. But I really also wanted you to understand that I knew that this was such a need. The next part of the journey is the refusal of the call. This is where Harry's like, no, I can't be a wizard. And Ashley's like, no, I I'm a fraud. You refuse the call because you're afraid. You have doubts, you have second thoughts, and this helps the audience connect closer with you as the creator because they see a little bit of themselves in you. You don't just blindly say, yes, I am the hero, this is my journey. You're honest about the fact that the comfort of home is way nicer than embarking on going to destroy the ring in Mordor. I refused the call and communicated those emotions in my Stream Coach Reacts to Haters video. And this is a completely true thought process that I've had that I haven't been able to contextualize before, is that I don't think that I should do this. As much as I want to talk about business, I don't know that it would be good for me and for y'all. But that's only 3 out of these 5 steps, baby, and the next one is super important. At this point in the story, our hero has refused the journey that they feel like they should be on, and what they really need is some level of guidance or acceptance or encouragement to be able to continue on the road that they can't get from themselves. And so this is a stage where they get a mentor. This is Gandalf, this is Dumbledore. Holy shit, I love talking about the Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter in a YouTube video. The next step is step 5, crossing the threshold. This is when they make that first act of commitment to go on that journey. This is Frodo putting the ring in his pocket and just leaving, or this is Harry going to Diagon Alley and getting all of his equipment to go to Hogwarts. This is when the character of the story leaves the comfort of the home that they've known forever and journeys into something completely scary that they've never known or thought could be done before. Okay, I think a lot of you are probably pretty confused right now because this is a lot of information that I just dumped on you and you're probably not sure how to apply it to your specific situation. So what I'm gonna do is tell you how you can use the hero's journey to pivot your brand, pivot your content so that you can keep being inspired with the stuff that you're creating. But the thing here is that as a content creator, we don't want to shock your audience by you immediately doing a rebrand and completely switching over to a totally different style of content. You actually want to avoid a rebrand as much as you possibly can, because when you rebrand, you can lose a lot of the audience that you already had. So if you want to start creating a different style of content, or maybe start streaming a different game, then you need to try to do it in a way that will retain as much of the audience that you already have as possible. And the hero's journey is a really great way that you can do this. Now, admittedly, I haven't figured out this process 100% completely yet. I think the person on YouTube who is most likely to do this is my friend Eric Wynn, so make sure that you check out his channel if you haven't already. But based on my experiment on YouTube and the stuff that I've learned about the hero's journey, here's how I would apply it if I wanted to start doing something completely different on Twitch, YouTube, or social media so that I could avoid a rebrand and retain as many of my audience members as I could. So first off with Twitch, and let's look at all 5 of the steps here. Ordinary world, your community should already know who you are, your likes, your dislikes, your outlook on life. If you're not opening up about that in your stream yet, you really need to be doing that. That should be a non-negotiable. You should already be doing it. Then the second step is that call to adventure. Whenever you're live, you want people to feel that sense of, wow, they feel really compelled to do that. So you need to give them the why of, maybe you're making this style of content, but why is it that you want to start making this other style? Why is it that you want to make this pivot? What is it about that new content that would fulfill you or that your audience needs? The more you can position it as it's on behalf of your audience, the more likely people are going to be to want to stick with it. The refusal of the call is obviously you want to tell them that you have doubts. You want to be honest about why you think that you can't do it, what you think the potential mess ups could be, how you might not be able to make this pivot, or what the nasty stakes could be if you were to do something like this, because they need to relate to you. They need to see, oh, they have doubts just like I do. And then meeting the mentor. So you have this new style of content you want to get into, bring a person on your stream who's really great at that new style of content and talk to them about it. Like, let them encourage you and tell you what it's really like, and whether it's emotional support that you need or if it's actual strategic guidance, allow yourself to ask for that support from another person before you get to step 5, which is crossing the threshold, which is where you actually start committing to creating that new style. Then with YouTube, okay, I think with YouTube, this entire process takes a lot longer, whereas with Twitch, this can be something that doesn't take a ton of time. You really could jump through all 5 of these in one single stream. And with YouTube, you really want to be strategic in the way that you present this, because I think something that I did really poorly was I put way too much emphasis on the story and I didn't make it as like secretive as I really should have. So with YouTube, ordinary world should already exist. The call to adventure, refusal of the call, meeting the mentor, and crossing the threshold can all be their own separate YouTube videos, but you need to pay really close attention to what's happening whenever you're making your YouTube content, because sometimes you want to draw out specific points. Like step 1, you might want to draw out a lot longer. Step 2, you might want to draw out a lot longer, but pay attention to the audience, because at some point people are going to start saying you're either being too emotional or the shift is taking too long, do it already, or it might be way too quick. So just gauge where you're at based on the reaction of the comment section. And then with social media, I honestly don't think that you really need to do a hero's journey with social. I think that social should be something that is true and authentic and unique to you. If people want the greater version of who you are and they want to connect more to you, that's where they go to your macro content like Twitch or YouTube. But social is more micro, so that's just you maintaining a presence. You don't necessarily need to go into all of this detail. So here's what's up, y'all. I could definitely switch over from being stream advice girl to business advice girl, but I would lose all of you who are just here for stream advice. And there's no reason that I can't make videos for stream advice and also make videos that help people make money online. What a lot of you are doing is you're doing a rebrand and you're completely shifting over who you want your audience to be. And so what's happening is you're losing a lot of the audience that you already had grown instead of opening yourself up to an entirely different group of people. You want to try to avoid a rebrand as much as possible. If you want to start creating another form of content because you're bored or you're just over it, do it so slowly that people don't even realize that it's happening, but still do it fast enough to keep them interested. So first thing, I want you all to know that just because you use the hero's journey to organize your thoughts and emotions for yourself and your audience does not mean that those thoughts or emotions are fake. I truly felt all of these things that I've talked to you all about, and the last thing that I want is for you to think that they haven't been real, because they completely have been. And using this framework doesn't just help you make better content, it helps you overcome things in your life that you're struggling with. When it comes down to it, it's really time for me to step into step number 5, which is accepting the challenge and realizing that I have all of the tools that I need to be able to do this. Maybe I don't have all of the knowledge, but that comes with time, just like learning about streaming did. But I want to build something that saves my family and saves yours. And the best way that I know how to do that is by talking about business and sharing that journey that I'm about to go on with all of you. Y'all have mentioned it in videos, I have mentioned it in videos, and I feel like this YouTube channel has become so repetitive over time, because all I focused on was how to grow on Twitch, how to grow on Twitter, and that's not gonna get you to the next level. It also just gets boring because human beings are multifaceted and we have a lot of different interests. And so now, stepping into this different world of talking about business allows me to open up my topics in a way that I never have before. So if you are struggling with this feeling of you're not able to talk about the things that you want, or you feel like you only can serve this specific community in a specific way, you can use this framework to help you shift a little bit. But the secret here is that it has to be real. Don't just fake it to make it, y'all. As we have discussed, that does not work very well. But the bigger picture here is that I'm more connected now to my purpose than I ever have been. I get to learn how to better provide for my family, my future children, my parents, my grandmother, and I get to help you learn how to provide for yours too. You, that sounded weird. So the point of this video, the thing that I think will actually save streamers, it might be business. It might be you all learning how to monetize online to better provide for your families, but it might also be you learning how to make a shift whenever you need to and make a change that inspires you and makes you feel excited about your content again, so that you can continue to create an experience for people that they enjoy and they want to keep coming back. Oh, that felt emotional. Holy shit. This is going to be a really fun ethics question here. Which one do you think is more important? Learning about business so that you can provide for your family, or learning how to shift in your content so that you can keep creating for your audience and the people that you love? I've also talked about this entire journey. I created an entire playlist out of this. This is my emotional journey that I went to from realizing that I'm very purposeless, directionless, and confused to being where I am now, where I'm really excited to start talking about this and I feel empowered and like I can really do it. Click on this one. I'm excited to start talking more about business with y'all. I'll see you over there. Bye.